All right, Shalom. It's your brother Kashakwala coming back at you with another lesson. Giving all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai by Hashem HaKakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders, great millstone, to rule and teach well. Peace, love, salutation to the elect 144 first fruit. This lesson ain't going to be too long, it's just going into one verse and see what it's speaking about. And the verse that I'm speaking about here is Nahum 3 and 8. All right, Nahum 3 and 8. It says, Art thou better than populous snow that was situate among the rivers that had the waters round about it, whose rampart was sea, and her wall was from the sea. All right, so we understand Nahum is talking about Nineveh. He's prophesying against the city Nineveh. Right, so going to Nahum 1, it says the burden of Nineveh, the book of the vision of Nahum, the Elkoshite. Okay, so let's go ahead and go back to Nahum 3 and 8. What is Nahum 3 and 8 speaking about? So first things first, what you want to ask yourself is who is Nahum talking to? Okay, who is Nahum talking to? So when you ask yourself that question, you got to figure that out first. So now, since we just 2 seconds ago went to who he's talking to, it's the bird. This is the prophecy of which he was speaking to the city of Nineveh, all right, which is an Assyrian city. Okay, at one point was a capital. Okay, at one point was a capital. The capital of Nineveh, I want to say, was destroyed about like, what is it, like 612 BC. I think Nahum was on the scene prophesying about Nineveh about 615 BC, something like that. Y'all can look it up, check if I was wrong. But Nineveh's downfall came pretty quickly after this prophecy. Okay, Jonah prophesied against Nineveh. Of course, Nahum, and you can read the book of Tobit, because Tobias heard of the destruction of Nineveh. And matter of fact, I'll get that. Okay. And then we're going to get back into breaking down the verse 8, Nahum 3 and 8. Let's see. Tobit, tripping. All right. It says, Tobit chapter 14, verse 15. It says, But before he died, he heard of the destruction of Nineveh, which was taken by Nebuchadnezzar and Ahasuerus. And before his death, he rejoiced over Nineveh. Right? So the prophecy was fulfilled from what Jonah and Nahum was speaking. All right. So it says, Art thou better than no populous? No. So who is he talking to? We got that. He was talking to Nineveh. Now, in this, when you say, Art thou better than populous? No. He's comparing. It's kind of like this. You play basketball, someone thinks they hot shit. It's like, bro, is you better than LeBron? No, nigga. You know what I'm saying? But that's not what that no means right there. But, you know what I'm saying, in a sense, he's comparing Nineveh to something. So now the next question you ask is what he was comparing, who he was talking to. So who is he comparing Nineveh to? Okay? So let's get into it real quick. Salakia. Let me see if I can airdrop something. Matter of fact, let's look into this real quick. All right, so you got populous. All right, in the Hebrew, I'm a one, which means architect, going down. Let's see. It says throng of people, multitude, right? But you need to go to the word no. All right. In the Hebrew, It's Nah. Salaki, man. That's funny. All right, so or you can say Nah, which is Nah, the ancient capital of Egypt, also the Thebes, if I'm saying that correctly. So he's speaking about an ancient capital of Egypt, okay, which is Thebes. So with that being said, like I said, I'm gonna airdrop this to my laptop real quick. See if it pulls up. There it goes. All right, let me make this smaller. Little article here. Okay. So when you go into what No is, it's the ancient city of Thebes. All right. So it says a throng or multitude of Ammon, which it was an Egyptian god, originally the local god of the Thebes, and later the head of Egyptian pantheon, No, which means disrupting, and was the ancient capital of Egypt, also known as Thebes, that was situate, right? So now we understand, and Nahum chapter 3, verse 8, who he was talking to and who he was comparing Nineveh to. Okay. All right. So it says, so now we know who No is, which is that he's comparing it to the ancient city of Egypt. It says that was situate among the rivers. All right. That had the waters round about it, whose rampart was the sea, and her wall was from the sea. So with that being said, Nahum is given geographical locations at this point. So now let's look up the Thebes map. Okay, so let's get it. Right here, I'm gonna zoom up on it. So Thebes was located, man, that's off, man, shit. It's all good. Let's do a better one. See if I can go to it real quick. Right here. So Thebes right here, as you can see, okay, was right next to the Nile. So going back, it says what? That was situate among the rivers. Exactly. So what's one of the bodies of water that it was next to that was a river? Okay. In the Hebrew, that's the word situate is yashab or salakia. Yeah, that's it. Yashab, to dwell, to remain, or sit. All right. So pretty much what it's saying is, what Nahum is saying is, are you better than the ancient city of Thebes of Egypt, which sat among the rivers, or which dwelt among or by the river? What river was that? The Nile. Okay, as you can see right there. I like this picture better here. Okay. Let's see if that picture pops back up. I swear Esau make it difficult to do anything. Bro, I just want to look at a map, bro. Same fucking site. There we go. All right. So pretty much you have the Thebes right next. You see that Nile River, and that's going into the Nile I forgot what that's called. I don't want to say canal, but you see another large body of water, which is the Red Sea. All right. So it says that had the waters round about it. Correct. Again, going back to that map, round the waters round about it, which is what? That Red Sea. Yeah, that Nile, which is it situate, which means to dwell. So it was next to the Nile. Then of course you had the Mediterranean. All right. It says whose rampart was the sea. So pretty much let's get that word rampart. All right. In the Hebrew, that's hayal, and it means rampart, a fortress, a wall. So pretty much their fortress was a natural resource of a body of water. Okay. So going back, it says what? Whose rampart was the sea, and her wall was from the sea. So it's saying, are you better than that city, Thebes, who was situated by the Nile River, whose rampart or fortress or protection was from the waters, the Red Sea and the Mediterranean, and her wall was from the sea? You see, that's what Nahum is comparing or asking rhetorically towards Nineveh. Are you like this city? Because when you go into more history of Egypt, the Thebes was taken over. Okay, if I'm not mistaken, that city was taken over by the Assyrians, and he's pretty much saying, "Are you better than them?" Because when you go into the city of Nineveh, they didn't have a lot of natural resources surrounding them. They're like how the scripture speaks of an unwalled city. Okay, even though when Sennacherib, if I'm pronouncing his name right, even though he fortified Nineveh, he built 40 to 50-foot walls around the entire capital during that time, his time. But it wasn't. He was saying, just like this ancient Egyptian city went down, is how you're gonna go down as well. And you just read further down. Matter of fact, which I will. It says, verse 9: Ethiopia and Egypt were her strength, and it was infinite. Put and Lubim were thy helpers. Yet was she carried away. She went into captivity. Her young children also were dashed in pieces at the top of all the streets, and they cast lots for her honorable men, and all her great men were bound in chains. Exactly. So he's saying, are you better than that ancient city of Egypt? No, you're not, because still, regardless, even with their allies, they were carried away into captivity. Their children were dashed to pieces. Their honorable men and their honorable men were bound in chains. So it doesn't matter regardless. You're going to get the same outcome. So verse 11, it says, thou also shall be drunken, thou shalt be hid, thou also shalt seek strength because of the enemy. Correct. That's exactly what they did too. So Nahum is prophesying what was going to go on later on when you read 2 Chronicles, the 36th chapter. He says, well, you think you better than that city, but that city went down too, and so are you. And when you read 2 Chronicles 36, Nahum says right here, thou shalt be drunken, thou shalt be hid, thou also shalt seek strength because of the enemy. And who was the Assyrians' enemy? The Babylonians. And who did the Assyrians go to seek for strength? The Egyptians. That's where you get 2 Chronicles, the 35th chapter, with King Josiah trying to stop Pharaoh Necho from going to battle the Babylonians, but the Lord had that already pre-set up, and his words were already spoken by Nahum, so this had to happen. Okay? The Assyrians clicked up with the Egyptians to fight the Neo-Babylonian Empire, the Chaldeans, and got their ass beat, and got ultimately eradicated. There was no more remembrance of Assyria after they fought the Neo-Babylonians. They got wiped out. The Babylonians wiped them out. like literally wipe them out when you go into the history. So just wanted to get some light on Nahum 3 and 8 on who he was comparing Nineveh to. Lord willing, that was edifying. I want to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Achakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, great millstone, who rule and teach well. Peace, love, salutation to the elect 144 first fruit. Brother Kashaquan, until the next time, Shalom.